Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Well, here's one thing that I have learned, that you can think you have knocked it out of the park and nobody will respond positively. And then you can think you just delivered a piece of crap and people will give you a standing ovation. You cannot predict how people are going to respond to what you do.
Yeah.
In psychology, they call this perception management. And it's something I noticed that I did starting in college. I knew that I was doing this really, really excessively, trying to manage other people's perception of me. And it got to the point I hated myself so badly for doing that that I became suicidal. I had a pretty rough time in college. And it was all about me constantly trying to manage others' perceptions. I wanted to be liked. I desperately needed to be liked because I felt like I didn't fit in and that nobody liked me. So, but those were just my feelings. It wasn't the truth. That's just how I felt.
Yeah.
So what I've learned is that if I think I've done the perfect thing, chances are nobody's going to agree with me.
Yeah.
Because my self-image is not based on reality. My self-image is based on the neural networks that I formed as a child due to certain traumatic events that I had, based on my attachment style, which leans anxious and avoidant. So regardless of how somebody comes at me, I'm still going to interpret it as, uh-oh, they're a threat, they're dangerous, they don't really like me, they're going to leave me.
Yeah.
Even, they may not give me any evidence that says they're going to leave me. They'd be coming at me saying, Tim, oh, Tim. And I'll be like, okay, what's going on here? I don't trust this.
Yeah.
So when I think I've nailed it, that's based on my own filtering of the world and filtering of other people. And I've been wrong about other people my entire life. So when I think I really got it, when I think I've said the thing that's really going to get them, I'm wrong. And then when I just let it fly and it's awful and it's sloppy and it's just, I'm like, oh my God, that is embarrassing. I can't even believe I'm hitting post. Oh! And then everybody's like, oh my God, that was awesome. I love that. I'm so glad you posted that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was going to delete it.
Yeah, I've had that same thing happen on some of my videos and when I teach my raw food classes. Like sometimes I'll feel like I just completely blew it. And I was like, nobody's going to come back to this. And then I get, like, the best reviews on the comment cards. And it just, like, blows my mind. I'm like, how did they think that was, as good as they said it was? It's funny.
What it blows is our self-concept.
Yeah.
See, each one of us has a self-concept, and we're pretty certain that it is set in stone. And we see it this way, and that's how everybody else sees it as well. But it's totally arbitrary.
Yeah.
Totally arbitrary.
Yeah.
So what I've learned is that just do whatever you want. People are either going to love it or they're going to hate it. You can't control that. You can't manage their experience of what you're doing. So just do anything you want.
Right.
And the more that you do that, the more that you just let it flow, some people are going to say, yeah, that's not for me. And other people are going to say, I love it. And just focus on those people. Focus on the people that get you being you. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That get you just letting it do its thing.
Yeah.
I lose subscribers every single day. And I gain subscribers every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, for the past 2 weeks, my subscribers are like remaining pretty steady as I get 50 a day and I lose 50 a day. So the overall number is hovering right about the same, but I'm gaining and losing the same numbers each day.
Yeah.
So every day there are people fleeing from my channel. And that's okay. They don't like me. That's fine. But these other people do appreciate what I'm doing, at least for the time being, and then maybe they'll flee too, but then there'll be new people coming along, so who cares?
Yeah. Right. And when I see if I see a bunch of, or like some of my subscribers have unsubscribed, sometimes I'm just like, and I thought I posted a good video,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, how does that happen? but yeah, it's funny how that happens.
Yeah, you can't take social media and posting all that seriously.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what it's about, like for me, yeah, I love to share information. And it's really information that is coming from other sources. It's not coming from me. I'm just doing a terrible job of butchering other people's scientific work as I relate the information. It's like, okay, these really smart people did all this research, and I'm going to give you a butchered version of it. Blah, here it is. There you go. There's the video. But the real ultimate goal, aside from the sharing, is the fact that I've been training myself to be comfortable just being myself. Not selling a personality. Not selling some over-the-top, I have to be this in order for people to watch my videos. I have to put on this performance. This camera guy needs to show up now. Okay, camera's on, and now what's my shtick? What is the shtick that I do?
Yeah.
And then every video, I've got to make sure that I keep that going, because that's why they're watching me. Yeah, so what I've been learning is, okay, let's show more and more and more of Tim. Okay, Tim is having a really hard day today. Let's turn on the camera and just let people see that, and I'll talk myself through it. Let's post that. Let's see if they can handle that. Oh, wow, they actually like that. Okay, let's do a little more. Let's show some more Tim on days that are not cool. All right, like I posted a video the day my cat died. It's one of the worst days of my life. She was my best friend.
Yeah.
I'm crying like a baby in that video. I was torn to pieces. And it wasn't about getting sympathy. It wasn't about, oh, look at me, I'm crying on camera. It was about, this is a real moment in my life, and it's a moment that's going to go down as one of the most difficult moments I've ever had. To me, cats are people. I don't see a difference. I lose a person, I lose a cat, it's the same effect on me.
Yeah.
It's family. I put that video up there because it's a real moment. And it wasn't about me, it's about, okay, this is how I'm dealing with this real moment. This is what life is like. Sometimes life does things like this, and this is what it feels like. And I want you to see that it's okay to feel things like this. It's okay to go through moments like this. We fear that moments like this are going to show up in our lives, and it just happened. I'm in that moment right now, and I'm capturing that moment to let you know that it's okay. That I'll get through this, and you'll get through your moments too. So by little, sharing my truth, I've gotten away from needing to be a personality. Needing to do it right. Needing to be larger than life. I can just be myself.
Yeah.
Rather than pigeonholing myself into, a particular persona.
Yeah.
And that's taken so much pressure off.
I bet. Yeah.
When you find yourself self-conscious and trying to manage other people's perceptions, call yourself out. I do this when I'm running. For instance, if I'm running up a mountain and there happen to be other people on the trail, especially women, and I run by them, I notice that I will increase my pace. And I don't do it consciously. It's not some plan I have. I just find that suddenly I'm running faster. And then I realize, oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to impress them. Okay. You're trying to impress them. And I call myself out and I laugh about it. And it's like, okay, that's all right. I got it. You don't need to be embarrassed, but you've got that tendency that you want to impress people. And the reality is they're not impressed. So they're more impressed with the guy that stops and talks to them than they are by the guy that blows by at 20 miles an hour and makes them feel bad about themselves. They're not impressed by that. Because now they're comparing. They see you run up the mountain at full speed, and they're like, oh my God, I am so out of shape. Look at that guy. He's running up like it's nothing, and I'm walking up and having a hard time. They're not impressed. They're more impressed by the guy that stops and says, wow, isn't this tough?
Yeah.
But it's worth it. There's a beautiful view up ahead. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, this is challenging, isn't it? So when we're trying to manage perception, we're not focused on them, we're focused on us. So you and I, being sensitive, being socially permeable, we look at the magazines, we look at the movies, we look at the television shows, we look at who the girls are attracted to and whatnot. and we compare ourselves to the people that are put out there in the media or in our communities as attractive. And then we say, well, I don't quite measure up to that. And then we start looking for why. What is it? Is it my hair? Is it my nose? Is it, I'm too skinny, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that. And then we really hyper-focus on those particular things. And we try to hide them. Like, it's, for me, a lot of it has been my nose. I've got a very angular, bony face. Long before I was ever a vegan, for all those people that say, oh my God, you look like a skeleton because you're vegan or a raw vegan. It's like, this is the face I had when I was eating McDonald's. Yo. His face hasn't, it's my face. So, my nose is prominent and bony and rather large, and I used to never let people see me in profile. I would always position myself so that girls, especially, so that girls could never see me in profile. Because I didn't want them to see my nose. Or if girls sat next to me, I'd, do this or, something like that. And I just never is someone going to see me in profile. And then when I moved to Los Angeles and was an actor, one of the things that they ask you to do when you walk in to do an audition, you state your name, you state your agent, and then you do profiles. So, I am Tim Van Orden with the blank blank agency, and then profile. And to me, it's like, okay, audition's over. I just lost. Yep, not even worth reading the lines. It's over. I just showed them my profiles. It's done. And after a while, I just started to work with myself and said, okay, let's rock the profile. Maybe that's the profile they're looking for. How do we know what they're looking for? They called me into the audition. Maybe they want somebody that looks like me.
Yep.
You look at Liam Neeson, he's got a very similar profile to me. You look at Tom Cruise, he's got a very similar profile to me. Yeah. These guys have done quite well with a similar nose to mine. So let's rock the nose. Let's actually use the nose as an asset. Did Danny DeVito walk into an audition and say, oh my God, I'm short, fat, and bald. Nobody's ever going to cast me. No, he walked in and he rocked the place.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's the guy. That's the one. Let's cast him.
Yeah.
But if he looked in the mirror and said, nobody's ever going to cast me in anything, we wouldn't have Danny DeVito, the actor.
Right.
I don't want to regret anything I've done in my life. It's done. Yeah. Let's work with now. But when I try to help people, I do go back and think of the cost in my life as I try to help them see why taking action now is important. Yeah. But wow, how many thousands of hours and how much of my daily energy was wasted on those kinds of thoughts?
Yeah.
For decades.
Right.
And how many opportunities did I miss out on? How many amazing people did I not have conversations with? How many women that might have been interested in hanging out with me did I completely avoid or ignore because of that? Even when people are saying things about us and pointing things out, it's not necessarily because this is a flaw. It's because they have their own insecurity, and they're desperately hoping that they can get the attention off of them and onto you or onto somebody else because they feel inferior and they feel inadequate. So you're not trying to predict or prepare this giant conversation. You're only focused on their response to what you did. So you don't have a whole ton of data to work with. You just have one piece. Yeah. They either liked it or they didn't like it.